Hi, hello. I never know where to look because there's no Twitch chat. It's just this, YouTube. Hi, my name is Steve, aka PKMNcast, and we're going to be talking about my XDL. The XDL. My draft league picks that Joe UX9 invited me to. I'm part of this draft league. So I am the Milwaukee Crams. I love the Cram. I got, I think, everything I kind of wanted. I think I got what I wanted. I'm pretty happy with my draft picks. I'm going to explain them. This is my first time ever doing a draft league. I'm not the best at competitive, I guess. I would say I'm not the best. I did qualify for Players Cup 2 back when that happened, so that's probably the best I've ever done in VGC. But I'm really excited that Joe and everyone else has me a part of this league. So before we get into the picks, I wanted to just go over what this is. All right, so here is the overlay of everyone in the XDL, which is the Battle Room, CK49, Fevzy, Jin, Manby. I hope I'm not saying any of these names wrong. I'm sure I am. Some of these content creators I know, some I don't. Moxie, Pokey Alex, Steph of Anime, Viz, Ash, Necra, Sierra Dawn, Joe, you obviously, the person in charge, Osiris, me, that's me, PKMNcast, and then Nino are the 16 players in this draft league. Now, going back to my team, I was number 13 in the draft, and how it worked is you got to pick your tier 1s first, your tier 2s, your tier 3s, your tier 4s, and then once you were done with all of that, once you've locked all these in, you would have 250 points to then get your last 4 Pokemon, and that was broken up into a tier 1 being worth 100 points, a tier 2 being worth 75 points, a tier 3 being 50 points, and a tier 4 being 25 points. So you could do, in your free, you could do 2 tier 1s, that would be 200 points, you'd be left with 50 points, and then you would have to pick 2 tier 4s because you couldn't go over the 250 threshold. I was 13th in the draft, and at this point, my first pick was Regieleki, which I would consider, and I don't think anyone would debate, like a top 3 competitive Pokemon in the Sword and Shield series. In VGC doubles. No one up to this point picked Eleki, so I thought it would be really foolish of me to skip that because no other Pokemon really competes with the speed of Eleki. And Eleki is just super versatile. You could have screens on Eleki, you could Volt Switch on Eleki, you could Choice it, you could Focus Sash it, you can do a lot. There's very little answers, especially in a draft league where only one Pokemon will exist. So since if you're unfamiliar with a draft league, just for maybe my audience, no one else can pick these other Pokemon. So only one person can have Incineroar, only one person can have Eleki, only one person can have Rillaboom. These very powerful Pokemon that you normally see a lot of the time and that you have to counter for. Only one person can have said Pokemon. So I went with Eleki. So I was pretty happy with that first tier 1 pick. And then when it came back to me, because I've never done a draft league and I don't have all this experience of, you know, people helping or giving me suggestions, I kind of did a lot of research prior. And my second Pokemon I decided to go with was Politoed because there was no Kyogre to set up Drizzle. I guess there's Pelipper, but no one likes Pelipper. And Politoed was in the tier 1 slot, and I figured, well, Politoed's pretty bulky. I like my bulk. Politoed instantly sets up Rain, and there is not a lot of... Only one person can have Torkoal, so there won't be a bunch of Sun running around, I would suspect or hope. So I went with Politoed for the support, you know, Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Scald, Perish Song, Politoed can learn. To be honest, I've never really used a Politoed myself. I've lost to a bunch of Politoeds, so I'm very familiar with how to fight Politoed. But even going back to my first pick with Eleki, I could run Thunder. Thunder is only 70% accuracy, but it's 100% in the rain. So that could be something that I could do that people normally expect. I was pretty happy with the first 2. So before we go any further of my other picks, there were a lot of Pokemon. Maybe you're curious of like what was in tier 1 or what was not in tier 1. So you have things like Amoonguss, Celesteela, Charizard, Cinderace, Clefairy, Coalossal, Dragapult, Garchomp, Galarian Moltres, Grimmsnarl, Indeedee. These are all Pokemon that you would expect in the tier 1. I know partners that would have gone well with Eleki, but I really wanted to lean into having weather on my side and forcing my opponent to think about the weather that they have to deal with. Like, there's really no way around it. If I'm bringing Politoed, there's going to be rain, and they just have to accept that there will be rain. Spoiler, one of my picks later is Kingdra, was also on my radar, but I figured, and the reason I went with Eleki, then Politoed, and not Eleki, Kingdra, or Kingdra, Politoed, is one, I wanted to make sure I had Eliki. But also, I didn't think anyone would really consider Kingdra now that Politoed was taken, because those two are such a lovely couple that I felt pretty good about that. And even if I didn't get Kingdra later, spoiler for Kingdra, there were plenty of other Pokemon that work in the rain. And then we move to our tier 2 Pokemon that would be like Dragonite, Durant, Entei, Ferrothorn, Gyarados, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Lele, Regirock, Registeel, Salamence. These are the tier 2 Pokemon. I will get to which ones I picked. And then we get into the tier 3 Pokemon, so you get stuff like Azelf, Arctozolt, Buzzwole, Espeon, Dugtrio, Duraludon, Gengar, Golurk. These are your tier 3s. And you can see which ones were taken and which ones were not taken, which ones were left over. Poor Caracosta. Never stood a chance. And then you get into your tier 4s, which is your Bouffalant, your Avalugs, your Barbaricles, Crustle, Delibirds, Frostmoths, Pokemon you rarely ever see in battle, but I don't know, maybe has a niche. I'm pretty happy with my tier 4. I think it works really well on my team. That's kind of just an overview of like the Pokemon between tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. All right, so back to my picks. My first tier 2 pick was Durant. I think Durant is just really strong in general with its ability Hustle, and with the fact that you can throw a Life Orb on it, you can Dynamax it. It's obviously weak to fire, very, very weak to fire, but you won't have teams running around with a bunch of Charizards. I would still have to look out for Pokemon like Cinderace and Charizard, of course. But Durant in the rain, also maybe not the worst option. You could have something like Alcremie run Mystical Fire, and I think that would I should probably calc that. I think that would one-shot it, but I don't think that would one-shot it in the rain. So Steel-type Pokemon in the rain was also another thing I was thinking of while I was building this team. And then my fourth pick, my second tier 2, was Ludicolo. When I was looking at Ludicolo, I was really debating between like Ludicolo, Seismitoad, and Dreadnought. All of these Pokemon were not specifically tier 2 Pokemon, but I didn't want to super overload the amount of water type Pokemon because I was going to eventually come back to Kingdra. With the Ludicolo's bulk and the ability Swift Swim and having access to Fake Out, I thought Ludicolo was probably the strongest pick here for my tier 2. So I was pretty happy with that. And then that moves into our tier 3s. And my first tier 3 pick, I was a little shaky on, and again, not wanting to add too many water type Pokemon, but almost all my picks had something to do with the rain because I just decided to commit all rain. Was Duraludon. Now Duraludon isn't necessarily weak to fire because it has the dragon type resistance. But I think Duraludon is really strong in Draft League. Duraludon can do a variety of things. You can throw an Assault Vest on it. You can throw a Life Orb on it. You can throw a variety of moves on it that I think it has a pretty okay move pool. I didn't get any Follow Me I didn't get any redirection support. So the players that did pick redirection, which is very powerful, Duraludon, I feel like just really solves that problem that I might run into later on with its ability Starwolt, however you say it. And Duraludon was really strong in the first couple seasons of VGC, and then it kind of got pushed aside when other Pokemon got introduced. So I think in this format, I think it's a solid choice. My tier 3, I initially picked Tauros. Boom, we've already traded it in. So how this draft league works is you have 4 trades. You can take a Pokemon and you could trade it for the same type of Pokemon. So I picked Tauros because I wanted something with Intimidate, and I also wanted something with Anger Point, and I'll get to that in a second. Intimidate is good. Obviously, the best Intimidator in the game is Incineroar, followed by Landorus, and those were both picked. I mean, those were when we're talking about top 3 Pokemon, at least in my head, top 3 Pokemon are Incineroar, Eliki, and Landorus. Those 2 Pokemon were taken before I could take them, and I'm not mad. I'm very, 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 very happy with Eliki. So I went with Tauros, and Tauros will make a little bit more sense in my tier 4 pick, but got rid of Tauros. We already traded Tauros in, and I went with Crocodile instead. Crocodile actually also has access to Intimidate, and also has access to Anger Point. Has the Intimidate coverage I'm looking for. It also has the Anger Point coverage, which I'm looking for, which, while isn't affected in the rain, the next Pokemon was vital to this, and I kind of had this all planned out, and it just happened to go my way. I should have probably picked Crocodile initially, but I think I panicked, and I thought Crocodile was a Tier 2 Pokemon. Crocodile was Tier 3, so that was just an easy trade. And I needed something with ground. Just because a slight electric weakness I have, it's nice to have a ground to ground that weakness, I guess. So we have Crocodile for our second Tier 3. And our Tier 4, I feel like out of this whole draft league, I had the best Tier 4 choice. I picked Beartic. Now, Beartic has Swift Swim in the rain, so I get to speed that bear up. It is not a water type, but it does benefit from the drizzle. It is an ice type. So if I'm worried about their dragons, I have a strong, hard-hitting ice type Pokemon to deal with that. But Beartic also has access to the move Frost Breath, which always critical hits when it connects, when it does its move. So I could Frost Breath my own Crocodile and activate Anger Point, which then Crocodile will have a +6 in attack. So Beartic has two modes, the Crocodile mode, and it benefits in the rain mode. So I feel pretty happy with my choice there. Okay, so to get to our free picks, came back to me. I figured no one would have picked... I figured I really banked on no one picking Kingdra, and no one did pick Kingdra, so obviously I picked Kingdra. So between Eliki and Kingdra, I know Kingdra gets like base speed, like 300 or something. I think it's like 300 in the rain. So I feel very confident that I have a super fast team between Eliki and Kingdra, and things like Politoed, which can Icy Wind, Eliki being super annoying with like Volt Switch, and Politoed being super annoying, and Kingdra being very fast in the rain. I feel, and the not having to worry about other people's Elikis, I feel really good about the Kingdra pick. It was really reassuring that I was able to get my Politoed, get my Ludicolo, get my Durant, get my Eliki, and get my Kingdra, and I think all of that is a super strong core. Not maybe a core. Yeah, maybe core. I don't know. I'm throwing words around. I'm really happy with these choices, and I was really happy with my next free pick, which was Cantonian Moltres, aka Baby Charizard. And now you might be thinking, Steve, you have a rain-heavy team, and you picked a fire-type Pokemon. What are you doing? What I'm doing is understanding that in the rain, Moltres has amazing hurricane support, and if I'm worried about grass type Pokemon like Venusaur or like Rillaboom, not only do those Pokemon struggle against Moltres, but Moltres eats them up with Hurricane, and with the rain, I'm not missing a Hurricane. So I think Moltres fills a perfect void my team was missing, and still provides aggressive support to things I am weak to. And I'm super happy with that choice as well. Up to this point, I didn't have any Dark-type Pokemon. Obviously, now I have Crocodile, but I wanted another support Pokemon. Politoed is great support. Ludicolo can be also great support, as well as do its shenanigans like Scald and whatnot. But I went with a Alolan Persian, and I actually forgot for a hot second that Persian, in my head, I thought Persian had Prankster, but it didn't. But I probably would have still picked it regardless. I know Persian has Fur Coat. But Persian, an incredibly fast Pokemon. I think it's like 122 base stats for speed, but it has access to Fake Out. It has access to Taunt, which I'm a little worried about, like Trick Room stuff, because my team is so fast, and I feel like that's a hard counter to it. Persian, very fast, has Taunt. Persian also has access to Rain Dance, so if I need another way to put back up Rain, Persian can do that very quickly. Persian has Snarl. Persian has like Fake Tears. So Fake Tears with Eliki, Fake Tears with Duraludon, Fake Tears with Kingdra. Like, I have so many options, I feel, with Persian, and I kind of lucked out that as a support Pokemon, I think it fits pretty perfect on my team. Perfect that's a bit. Alolan Persian. I don't know if I specified that. And then my final pick was I had all of these fast to very fast Pokemon on my team, and I needed something slow, and I needed something to reverse a Trick Room. So I didn't want anything that was pure support at this point. I needed something that could still do damage and I need something that could reverse Trick Room, and I need something that was slow. So I went with Galarian Slowbro. And Galarian Slowbro is a little special to me because I ran Quick Claw, Quick Draw, Galarian Slowbro for Players Cup 2, which I qualified for, to do the whole reverse Trick Room and or just attack. And it worked really well for me. Slowbro also has access to the ability Regenerator, so I can do some stuff in that regards. I was possibly thinking about picking like Gourgeist to have like Grass Ghost, and being able to be a slow, heavy hitter that could still reverse Trick Room. Or Delmise was another Pokemon on my mind, but I think Slowbro fits pretty okay here. I'm not too upset. And Slowpoke also Slowbro also has access to water type moves, which again can benefit in the rain. That is my entire team. I wanted to include some clips. Joe and Jin, part of the draft league, also had their thoughts on my team, so I just wanted to drop them here.
Strong. I was really impressed by the first 4 picks. I think the first 4 picks were like really good, especially like back to back, because you have the rain mode, you have the Durant, and then you have the Regieleki. But what were your thoughts on this team?
I think I said it, and I'll say it again. I just don't want to fight this team. I just don't want to do it. Like, this team's going to give me problems. This team's going to not be the most fun. I have him like week 10 or something along those lines. There's a lot of options here with this rain, and because in a draft league you've only got so many answers for weather control, he's got just a lot of swapping with Eliki and everything else on his team. So I'm gonna have a fun time fighting the Milwaukee Crams there. A little bit.
Oh, 100%. I think what's really oppressive about it is the like rain spam, basically, because you're basically putting your opponent in a position where they have to prep for rain, and then you have options like Eleki and Moltres and like all these other mons that can really punish it. I think this team's definitely like one of the scariest ones. And one thing too that's like really cool is Persian actually gets access to Rain Dance itself, so it can set manual rain for the team. You can even do stuff with Persian like U-turn into Ludicolo, give it weakness policy, and go into Politoed. You can do some other stuff like Fake Tears with Persian, with Duraludon, which I think is like super, super cool. But yeah, this is a very, very oppressive team, I think. And like you're forced to prepare for the rain mode while also having to think about the other things that this team can do. I think Beartic too was a really good pickup for like a tier 4, especially since it gets Swift Swim. It gives you like another like really oppressive like Swift Swim on, so I think that's like really cool.
And yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with what I picked. I know that I went very rain heavy, but I know that like my opponents have to prepare for rain. They have to just accept that this is what's happening, whether they like it or not. I believe another player has the Torkoal, Venusaur, Charizard core, so when I do that matchup, I have to prepare for Sun, and other people who match up against them also have to prepare for Sun. But I went all in on rain. This is my first draft league, so I hope that was the right choice. If it wasn't the right choice, at least we walk away with a baller logo. I'm very happy with the logo I made here, and shout out to my artist King Lotus, who did the cram. I did everything else, but I'm not much of an illustrator, but they really knocked it out of the park with the cram, so very happy there. But yeah, I'm super excited. I would love to hear your thoughts about my team, maybe your suggestions. Maybe you really like that it's rain heavy, maybe you hate that it's rain heavy, maybe there was another Pokemon you feel could have fit in here. I really did want to make like Dreadnought work. I think without the amount of Rillabooms, only one person has Rillaboom and only one person has Venusaur. I felt like Dreadnought would have been a really good choice on this team as well, but I couldn't fit it. Seismitoad I think would have also been another decent choice on this team, but Seismitoad was picked. But I think like I said earlier, I think between Ludicolo, Seismitoad, Dreadnought, I think Ludicolo was the strongest choice here. And having Steel-type Pokemon in the rain, Moltres, I'm so happy that I picked that, and that was actually a recommendation from my coach, Paul Ruiz, who we had just a minor session before I started this draft league, and they said, hey, if you do all rain, Cantonian Moltres is really good in the rain if you can get that. And I was able to get that, so that's awesome. But anyways, like I said, sorry, I've been rambling for a while. I hope you enjoy my draft team. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. The competition starts in, I think it's 11 weeks long, and I believe it starts in like a week. So there you go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys. I never do this. I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye. Bye.